Good afternoon. Welcome, Rotarians, guests, and friends. We are very excited about our meeting today. We have a special modified meeting. Our speaker, Evans Magraci, could not be here. Mirages could not be here because of illness, so we need to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. We will reschedule him at a time that's more convenient for him. We do have a great program today with our Stepping Stones and Camp Allyn presentation. You will hear more about it. And we never have enough time in the regular schedule when they give the 2 to 3 minute update on what's happening. So we have an expanded schedule on our program today with them. So that should be great. We're really looking forward to it. We will begin with the national anthem, again by our Rotarian Stephanie Sheard, followed by the invocation and four-way test, which will be led by Kay Atkins. Stephanie?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, President Melinda. Please join me in prayer. We appreciate the blessings of the past, which give us hope in the future. Help us to actively pursue peace and goodwill wherever we live and work. We will seek and accept help in reducing strife and misunderstandings at home and in the world by listening and learning. Please help our fellow Rotarians in the Ukraine and in countries in Africa and wherever war and strife exist. We are grateful for our Rotary predecessors who had the vision and the foresight to seek ways and means to offer hope and assistance to children with more limited abilities. Their determination to make life easier for crippled children resulted in offering a summer camp experience. From these pioneers of 100 years ago, we have continued to evolve their vision for Camp Allyn. Camp Allyn has expanded in size and services, offering many more services to children and adults year-round. Help us to encourage and nurture those who are working for a vibrant region, a region where families and individuals of all abilities can live, work, play, and thrive. Amen. Now, let us repeat the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie and Kay. You may be seated. Next, we will hear from our Sergeant at Arms today. She's wearing 2 or 3 hats. It will be Stephanie Sheard, and she will also introduce our new Club 17 member. Following Stephanie Sheard will be Bill Shula, and Bill will be introducing our next Paul Harris Fellow. Stephanie?
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we had one visiting guest, so when I call your name, if you could please stand. Grace Devoid is here today. She is a student at UC, and she is at CCM studying. Fantastic. Yes. And she is a guest of Ed Devoid today. And we are going to move on. So one of the newest Rotarians I'm going to be introducing today is my husband and partner in crime, Bob Sheard. All right, awesome, great. So just to preface a little bit, so I am a newer Rotarian here, and Bob was seeing how much fun I was having, meeting amazing people like you, and enjoying the really fantastic speakers here at Rotary, and he's like, I want to get in on that too, this sounds fantastic. So here he is today, so we're really excited. I'm going to share a little bit about Bob, and then you guys can learn a little bit more about him. So after college, Bob, he attended at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. After he finished, he went into restaurant management with Don Pablo's Mexican Kitchen, if you guys remember where that was. He started at the one on the river, if you guys ever frequented that. He became general manager, though, at the Don Pablo's at Harper's Point. And then while he was there, he was actually getting his MBA part-time at UC. And he graduated with a double major, finance and commercial real estate, upon completion. So after he graduated from UC with his MBA, he began working as a commercial property manager, and then he ended up as general manager at Merritt Square Mall in Merritt Island, Florida. After 5 years in property management, he decided to go rogue and make a major career change, starting his own company. He's always interested in entrepreneurship, but finally he saw the right opportunity. He found an Instant Test Prep in 2010. His company focuses on online test prep for entrance exams and professional certification exams. They build websites and smartphone apps with practice questions and other study materials. So every year, over 2 million, probably more like 3 million students and professionals prepare for their exams using Instant Test Prep products. Bob is also active at Montgomery Community Church, where he volunteers as a member of the executive board, and in his free time, he enjoys running, racquetball, skiing, and travel. And we live in Blue Ash with our 2 kids, our daughter 15, she's Abby, and our almost teenager son, Blake. And just a fun little fact, Bob and Blake actually share the same birthday, and it is this Sunday, Mother's Day, so there'll be 3 big celebrations in our house, so it'll be really fun. So congratulations, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on.
Oh. No, we're not
Get your little
Can I get a quick picture?
Yep, absolutely.
Turn around and look at me.
Great.
I'll take a quick picture. Hey, look at that. Good picture.
Thanks. All right, awesome. I'll see you.
All right, thanks for fitting me in there. Gary's on his way up here. Okay, I'm very honored again to be here to recognize one of our Rotarians for their support of the Rotary International Foundation. Since 1917, the mission of Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotary members to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty throughout the world. And we are this close to the eradication of polio. And we have the challenge of Rotary International around the world to eradicate polio. And we're down to the 2 countries. We are part of a collaboration because every year Rotary International has a task and a challenge to raise $50 million because our friend with the Bill Gates Foundation, they will double that. So every year we get up to $150 million available for polio eradication. So we're this close, and I support that challenge and that goal because I am young enough to have gone to school with children who had polio. And that's such a tragic situation. So we are about service above self. So I want to recognize our newest member to Paul Harris Fellow, and I want to read to this. Gary Mitchell is hereby named a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation of tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations among the peoples of the world, signed by our Rotary International President. Gary? And I present to him also his Paul Harris Fellow pin, and hopefully he'll wear this and share this with many others in our Rotary world and also those in non-Rotary world so they can give our support. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and congratulations, Gary. Our next presenter will be our President-elect, Steve King. As I mentioned to you earlier, and you've heard from several of our ad hoc committees, this is another ad hoc committee that was looking at our membership model, and Steve is going to give us an update on a new option that we will have with the membership. Steve? After Steve, we will have Gary Kendall speaking on the Bowler of the Year, so we're really excited about these two presentations. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, President Melinda. I'm not the Bowler of the Year, but I am here to talk about club dues and introduce a new membership option. 2 weeks ago, you heard from Doug Bolton, who's the club treasurer, about the state of the club budget, finances, our reserves. I want to thank Doug for his stewardship and his transparency. It's been a huge asset to the executive committee. Last week, the Finance Committee met, and they approved that budget. Also last week, we heard from Executive Director Sarah Pattison, who talked to us about a new membership management software called DACDB. DACDB is going to streamline many club functions, but also save the office probably over 100 hours of staff time a year. This week, I'd like to talk to you about club dues and this new membership option. Your board of directors have been working hard to keep costs down and tighten the belt. It's been harder in this period of time of inflation, but I got to tell you, Sarah Pattison has, she's new, but she has jumped into the club budget with a magnifying glass. In a previous life, Sarah ran the books for her family's business, and she brings a sharp eye for savings and a keen eye for detail. And I personally am very appreciative of her budget hawk eye, and thank you very much, Sarah. Why don't we direct our attention to the screen? Christy, if you can bring that up. This is the club dues structure for the next 6 months. It's been approved by the Finance Committee. You'll notice the 5 existing membership levels and a $10 increase in dues. You'll also notice that dues for meals and the Hilton infrastructure have gone up by $1 per meal for those members who pay at the door. Again, inflation is hitting club expenses and hitting the Hilton alike, so we appreciate Sarah's work to keep these increases as modest as we possibly could. The board is also excited to introduce a new member option. I think there's one more slide. There you go. Active Flex. So Active Flex membership level is new. It does not change any of the existing membership levels, but it is designed from member feedback, and it was as a result of that work from the ad hoc committee on membership innovation. The idea of the Active Flex is that it will boost retention of members whose work schedule may have changed and make it hard for them to attend meetings regularly. And it might also attract new members who just love what Club 17 is doing, but have trouble getting here every week. So, invoices will be coming out shortly. Your membership level isn't changing, but if you want to know more about Active Flex, talk to me. Talk to the office, talk to anyone on the board. You'll see details about this in the E-Rays next week and on CincinnatiRotary.org. I think that's all I have about the new club dues and membership options. Thank you, everyone.
Well, Hux is making his way up here, I'd like to announce some of the other awards that were given out at our banquet. High average this year was a Northeast Cincinnati club member, John Hepler, who had a 187. Now, before you get excited, there are only about 2 people that were even in that range. So the high game was Jordan Finley from our club at 257. High series was Dave Lucky at 651. Most improved bowler was from Northeast Cincinnati Club. Alex Rogers improved his average by 20 pins. And the champions this year were Gary Kendall, Jeff Weir, Steve Rogers, and Russell Smith of the Rays. So, the Bowler of the Year award was started by Al Fisk back in 1970, and it is given to the Rotarian, not necessarily with the best average, but who puts the most into bowling and epitomizes the image of the Rotary Bowling League. So this year, Hux was kind of my right-hand man. You know, I would approach new members and other members about bowling, and then I could turn them over to Hux, and he's a doctor, so he knows how much he can twist an arm without doing any damage. And Hux has been one of our regular bowlers. He does have a lot of guts, and that was evidenced by the jokes he would tell when he was president of Rotary. But this year, he announced that he wanted to have a 150 average, and he achieved that for a week. And then, I'd like to, has a long history of Rotarians, including Wally Emmerling, who was a 2-time award winner. And I'd just like to congratulate Hux on the award this year, and he needs to continue to recruit us bowlers.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Nobel Committee, the bowling committee, and my teammates and Gary for this honor. As I look back on my bowling career that started when I was 10 years old in Cub Scouts, and we went to Madison Bowl, and I think I bowled a 37. Little did I imagine that in the future I would be the Bowler of the Year of 2022 Club 17. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is... We have to get it with my name on the right side. Okay, there we go.
Thank you so very much, and congratulations again, Hux, on being the Bowler of the Year. It was quite a tournament up in Dayton, and then also when we came back here and met after we won the trophy and brought it back here to Cincinnati. So it's a lot of fun. If you haven't had a chance to bowl with them, it'd be a great opportunity to either bowl or just watch. This week's meeting sponsor is Rotarian Jane Burkett. She sponsored our meeting today, and we really appreciate that. If you're interested in sponsoring a meeting, either individually or your business, organization, or company, please check with the office and with Bob Brandstetter. And we appreciate Jane's effort into sponsoring our meeting today. We have several birthdays. May 6th, we have Jim Neidhart. And is Jim here? Stand up, Jim. There's Jim. Okay, that's okay. And Sue Radabaugh, they're both birthdays May 6th. May 7th, Frank Dawson, and they're up there. We're going to be doing some things a little bit differently in the future. We'll have some of our announcements up there, so we will shorten the time at the microphone so we can leave more time for the speaker. And also on Sunday, May 8th, is Sam Scoggins. So let's give a round of applause for our Rotarians and birthdays. Next, we will have Split the Pot. And I'll ask Kay Atkins if she would please pull the... You got some tickets too? Yes. Okay. Would you rather? Yeah. Okay. So she's deferring to Stephanie Sheard. So Stephanie, this is your fourth hat today.
So she could pick mine.
That's right, I might pick Kay's anyway, just for fun.
Thank you, Stephanie. It's a red ticket. And the last four digits, well, first of all, the winner today gets $45, 25% of the pot. The accumulating pot is $1,627. Anyone's eligible, of course, for the tickets to be drawn, but only Club 17 members are eligible for the accumulating pot. The last four digits are 4, 1, 9, 4. I'll say it again. Well, no, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Owen bought me some tickets today. He was paying me back. Let me check my tickets. No, it's not me. 4194. Ah, Ed DeVoyd. Okay, Ed will be drawing for the Queen of Hearts. Let's see if we can give away the accumulating pot. Oh, ace of spades, ace of spades. All right. Well, Christy's going to show you the Queen of Hearts there. There it is. All right. Thank you, Christy. Next, I will go over a meeting with you that we will have. We have a special meeting called Meet and Greet. It will be Tuesday, May 10th. It's really an exciting time. This comes from our communications of our calls. Our board members have called the members 2 to 3 times a year to check on each other and to keep the family together of Rotary. And this was something that was recommended by several people on our phone calls. So we're going to get together as a family, younger members, new members, all Rotarians are welcome. Some members who are veteran members said we have many new members. I don't know who they are. Love for us to be able to get together. So that meeting, our first one will be at the Scripps Center between 4 and 6 o'clock on the 10th floor in the Conference Center. If you would please, again, all Rotarians are welcome to attend. Please RSVP by tomorrow, the 6th, so the office will know how many people to prepare for. If you plan to attend, make sure that Christy or Sarah have been notified, either one of them. Next, our next hands-on service project will be Saturday, May 7th from 9 to 2 p.m. At Camp Allyn. It will be a spring cleanup time. There's a note, too, that Sarah and Christy listed on here is to please be mindful that State Route 32 is under some construction, so there may be a road closure or a detour here or there, so please leave in time enough to get there on time. And if you put the address in Waze, W-A-Z-E, it will reroute you into where you need to go to get to the cleanup. Family of Rotary, let's congratulate 3 Rotarians on the graduation of their children from college. Rob Balot, son Charlie, graduated from UC. Karen Hilton's daughter Taylor from the University of Florida. And Dave Carlin's son Cam from UC. Let's give them a round of applause. If you haven't heard yet, our former executive director, Linda Muth, her husband, Tom, lost his battle. He was sick for some time, and Linda will be hosting a celebration of life for Tom on Sunday, May 15th, from 1 to 4 at, as Linda calls it, Muth's Happy Trails Homestead. Parking will be off-site at Child Focus, which is 555 Cincinnati Batavia Pike, and a special shuttle will be provided to take you from the Child Focus to the Muth's home. If you're interested in participating in a memorial to Tom, you can contribute by food, or you can check with Nancy Reese if you have a donation that you would like to give to Linda for a memorial for Tom. Nancy, please raise your hand. Make sure people see Nancy Reese there. You could let her know, and make sure you RSVP to Nancy by Friday, next Friday the 13th, if you would like to attend. Nancy and Jerry they're here today, and they will be at our meeting next week if you have something you would like to bring and donate, or if you want to know specifics about food and that type of thing. Nancy said, please let her know. Her address is 3288 Cherry View Lane, North Bend, Ohio, and Nancy's phone number is 513-325-8288, and it's in your directory, and you can also see it online. So make sure you check with Nancy. She's been doing a great job between the liaison between Linda and trying to help her out and our club. Let's give Nancy a round of applause. She's done a lot. And I'm sure Linda appreciates the support. Next, we have 4 meetings today. At 1:30, we have the Classification Committee. We'll be meeting in the Roulon Room on the street level. The Cincy Due Days Committee will meet in Salon A on the 4th level, 4th floor. The World Affairs Committee will be meeting at the Mayflower Room on the lower level. And the Membership Development Committee will be meeting in Boardroom 3 on the mezzanine level. And next week, our meeting will be Police Recognition Day. So without further ado, we will move to our program today that we are very excited about. And Owen Rassman will introduce our program today. Owen?
Good afternoon, Rotarians. It's always busy around the Rotary world, and with the cancellation today of our speaker being ill, Sarah texted me last night and asked me if I would introduce Fred, and I said, sure, I know Fred. And but interesting, this morning I met with Fred and Don Keller at Gary Walton's down in Lower Price Hill at the Print Museum. And had a nice session down there. It just was a nice deal with getting Rotarians together to kind of think things through and maybe help Gary out. But that's just the kind of person Fred is. And of course, I thought I'd have that time to prepare a little bit better for introducing Fred, but I didn't. So we arrived here right before the meeting. But Fred's been in Rotary since 1983, which is 2 years longer than I have, and he's Mr. Camp Allyn. I mean, him and Jack Scott and Mike LaValle, basically, through the years, have just been the 3 pillars that have really, made Camp Allyn what it is today. But we're, of course, with our celebration later this summer, Fred's going to explain all that today, and I was going to get into his family, but Melinda's tugging on my shirt, on my jacket. So, for no further ado, I owe Fred Fischer.
I just reminded Owen he wasn't the speaker today. So. A good friend and a good man. Well, I was pressed into service yesterday afternoon on this, and I told Sarah, I said, when you give me an opportunity to talk about Camp Allyn, I'm not going to pass that up. So today we're going to talk a little about Camp Allyn in general. You've heard a lot about it this year already. You all know it's our 100th anniversary. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the 100th anniversary project, the 100th anniversary celebration. We'll hear from Angie Ferguson, and Camp Allyn programming, which probably will be new to a lot of you. Karen Martin is here from Stepping Stones. She does all the programming and leisure activities for Stepping Stones in Camp Allyn, and she has some good information. And then at the end, we'll open it up hopefully for some questions. Karen's, I've heard her present before, and it usually stimulates some questions. So as you know, over the past few months, Mike LaValle put together a document of the Camp Allyn history, and we've been presenting from that. So I won't do that to be too redundant, but I will touch on some important dates because the history of Camp Allyn is most interesting. So in 1921, which is 100 years ago, 2021, COVID made us miss the celebration. But in 1921, Rotary Club of Cincinnati first had a Condon Christmas party. So that event is as old as Camp Allyn is, and it's still going strong. That year, Rotary Club of Cincinnati rented a 46-acre camp from the Cincinnati-Portsmouth Railroad out in Batavia. So that makes our camp and our celebration 100 years, obviously. In 1925, Rotary Club created Condon School. It was the first school in Cincinnati for handicapped children, the terminology of the day. In 1927, we were leasing Camp Allyn. In 1927, Rotary Club bought Camp Allyn and the 6-acre lake that was on it. Now, some of you might not know that. If you look at the picture up on the board, there's a field, and then one of those clearings is a 6-acre lake. I believe it's the one on the right. So that lake served Camp Allyn until the 90s, when some of us got involved, and the lake silted up, and it could not be saved. It was a 100-year-old lake. The lake was there long before we got involved because the railroad dammed up the creek to make it. So we had to breach the dam, and we cultivated the bottom of the lake into a field, and that field is now where the hot air balloon rides are. So when you go down the paths to get into the hot air balloon, if you ever go out there, that's the bottom of the old lake. But we didn't want to lose anything for Camp Allyn as far as fishing and boating and that sort of thing, so we dug 3 ponds around the outside of the lake. 2 of them are pretty evident, but there's a third one way in the back of the property. If you're ever walking around a property, you can see that. In 1968, Rotary Club and Stepping Stones joined together and made a year-round camp out of Camp Allyn. So a lot of us feel as though Camp Allyn is a summer camp for 2 months or 6 weeks, whatever, and it is that, but it's also a lot more than that. And we'll hear more from Karen on some of the programs. But Camp Allyn runs 24/7, all winter, all summer, and has a lot of program in addition to the camping experience that we provide. In 1976, Rotary pledged $600 to build the new camp. So if you've ever been to Camp Allyn and you don't go in the main entrance, but you went in kind of the entrance along Amelia Olive Branch Road, that used to be the entrance to the camp. And that's where the camp was. And the rest of it was all fields and things of that sort. So in 1976, Rotary Club decided to try to raise $600,000 and build a new camp over on the other side, which is where we're all familiar that it is now. In 1982, Camp Allyn reopened as a $1 million plus facility. Surrounding Rotary clubs at that time began sending kids to our camp. So a lot of Rotary clubs with 40 or 50 people could not afford to have a camp like Camp Allyn, but they could raise the $400, $500, $600 to send disabled kids from their community to Camp Allyn, and that went on for years. So note the date, 1982, so it's 2022. So our buildings are 40 years old, and they were nicely built, but we didn't have a huge budget. So they're wooden buildings, they had plywood siding on them, they're 40 years old. That's what stimulated the project that we're working on right now. In 1987, Rotary International began Polio Plus. So not only was service to special needs kids in Cincinnati and all the clubs, but international was too. In the late 1980s is when we breached the dam and filled in the lake and dug the 3 ponds. Then the Rotary Club in 1993 started hot air balloon rides, which is where they are today. So today, Camp Allyn, as I said, is year-round programming, and a couple of years ago, we bought another 56 acres of surrounding property to get us a little protection from the neighborhoods that were closing in on us, as well as expand the camp. So 100th anniversary, do the math, 100 acres, and we're spending money to bring it up to date. So that's where we are. So the 100th anniversary project As I said before, the buildings are 40 years old, and we needed to repair the siding, we needed to put new windows in, and we needed to generally upgrade the buildings. Once again, Mike LaValle designed all the changes, he designed the upgrades, and he's been overseeing the project from its beginning. He's out of town today. It's important to note that this project is close to $200,000. We started out $100,000 for the 100th anniversary. Well, that didn't last very long. Once we got into the buildings and saw some of the problems we had, project creep set in. But we decided that we weren't going to hit the foundation for the money. So now, Rotarians that heard about our buildings, we haven't solicited anybody, but they have contributed on their own up to $50,000. We've gotten some money from the Rotary Foundation, but half of the money is being raised from foundations outside of this Rotary Club and outside of our foundation. So we have a pretty self-sustaining project and a very active committee. So where are we? This is what we so admirably call the bus stop. So when you're dealing with special needs kids, the weather is an important item. A crack of thunder, a heavy rain, a light rain, a breeze, anything can upset special needs children. So as they're out getting into cars, getting into buses, whatever they need for their transportation, they're always very vulnerable, and it's always difficult for the staff. So as part of the 100-year project, we're building this shelter. It's about half completed in this picture, which is about a week old, and they're moving very quickly. All of the construction stuff you see around there is now gone. The building stands, and today or tomorrow, they're to pour the slab underneath it to complete that piece of work right there. So that'll be a great advantage. When we started in on the 100th anniversary, we decided we're not building a memorial. We're not building something just to show. We want it to be functional. So we asked the staff, what could we do to make your job easier and make camp better? This is one of the first things they talked about. Now also, this is the main entrance to the cafeteria building. So if you're all at our picnics and we're out around the pavilion, this is the entrance that you're looking at. The same problem exists right there, that the kids, a lot of our groups that are at Camp Allyn cannot mix for various reasons, for various disabilities. So one group is dining, the next group is kind of waiting to go in. The one group leaves the dining hall and the next group goes in. If it's inclement weather, they're getting wet. Or a crack of thunder, little lightning, everything we just talked about, they're upset. So this is a breezeway or an entryway to protect them while they're waiting to go into the dining hall. Plus, it takes a building that, quite frankly, was great in 1982, but it's a little tired right now, and it gives it a much nicer entryway. This is the entryway a little bit more completed, but what I'd like to show you is if you look right around here, these are all brand new windows, and they are all with tempered glass. And they have mullions on the top that Mike designed in to give them a little class. Those windows were aluminum windows. Some of them have been replaced over the years. They take a real beating from our clientele. So they had been broken many times, and quite frankly, they weren't very good looking. So in this project, we replaced all the windows all the way around the building with tempered glass windows. Still breakable, it just takes a lot more to break them, and it's a lot safer if somebody does break them. It goes into small pieces rather than the big chunks falling. So that part, all the windows have been completed, and this roof and this whole, I think I can show you here. That's another. What I wanted to show you here, look what Mike designed is as far as the trusses, the beams, and all that stuff. It's not just everyday looking stuff. It's going to have a very nice design and some nice signage. There it is, pretty complete. That's a pretty recent picture. These columns will be wrapped again, and the bottom of all of these columns will have a stone wrap around them to give it a little bit more class. Some of the good-looking stuff is some of the cheaper stuff, so we're not spending money for nothing, but we decided to give the building a little bit more of a lodge look rather than being somewhat institutional. The windows up here were pretty rotten. Those are all being replaced, and once again, you can see that these windows have been replaced and are trimmed out. We're also re-siding the whole building. So all the siding all around, I said the whole building, we're re-siding about half the building, one end and the front side. The back side of the building, because of the way it takes the weather, was actually in pretty good shape. So we decided to save the money and not do that part of the building. So this part of the building now is all complete. It's all been re-sided, and we're probably going to start this weekend with painting. If you come out to Hux's Workday, you can see some of this. Here shows you the building waiting to get re-sided. We pulled all the old siding off. We fixed a lot of rot. In this area right here, on the other side of that wall, is a walk-in refrigerator freezer. And that was built in panels. And over the years, 40 years, those panels separated a little bit and they began to leak. And all of that part of that building had condensation in it, was full of mold, full of rot. We had to tear out a great bit of it. It was one of our largest cost overruns. But it's all been repaired, it's all back together again, and we're using the refrigeration unit. And so we're in good shape. But that part of the building, when I look at it, it was really torn up at one time. This is just another example of the siding going on. This siding here was a new piece to fix rotten siding, but then we went ahead and pulled all of this off also so that the whole building was re-sided. There I'm pointing to the mullions and the windows. You can see some of the trim boards going on. None of this had this kind of good-looking trim and kind of window in the original ones that we took out. So we're trying to make it look better, trying to make it more functional, and trying to keep it going. So that's what I have for the project. So you can see more this Saturday when you come out to Hux's Workday. And Hux has a mic if you want to say a couple of words.
Thank you, Fred. Camp Allyn is close to my heart, too. I was a counselor out there in 1967 and 1968. And we were on the other side of the lake, and the lake was there, and we would take little kids for rowboat rides, and they would pull the plug from the bottom of the rowboat, and the rowboat would start to sink, and we would row frantically to the side of the lake, and no one died, which was good. We are having our spring cleanup this Thursday. It's from 9 to 2. We've had about, what did I say? Thursday. I said Thursday. I meant Saturday. Yeah, we're having it Saturday. And I think we've got 12 or 13 or 14 people signed up. Now, here's the thing. We realize Rotarians come without signing up. If it doesn't rain, we can use the entire club. Okay, if it's raining, we'll have to be working inside, and so probably just the people who have signed up can come and work at that point. But if it doesn't look like it's going to rain, try to send an email to me. But if it's not raining, everybody can come. So it's our camp. It's been our camp for over 100 years. It's really inspiring working out there.
Thanks, Hux. Hux does projects all over the city. We're always glad he includes Camp Allyn. Now, for the 100th anniversary celebration, Angie Ferguson is in charge, and she's going to tell you about it.
Okay, hello again. So what hasn't been said yet is that the celebration is on August 27th. You'll hear me say that several times. Keep that in mind, and it is going to be a dinner-type celebration, a cocktail hour in the beginning to thank the major donors that he referenced as far as supporting the updates. followed by a ribbon cutting and a reveal of a key feature of one of the buildings, and then a band and dinner and all kinds of fun stuff that we are planning at the moment. So please plan on joining us August 27th. When I think about this celebration and what we as a group want the spirit to be, it is a celebration of Camp Allyn and the individuals we serve, but to me, it's more a celebration, or just as much a celebration as the Rotarians that built this 100 years ago. Starting from the excitement that they must have had when they had that first event in 1921, the vision that they must have had when they purchased the property, the toil they put in when they decided we have to get rid of this portion of the lake, but we want to keep the ponds, and all of those things that have been done. That's really, to me, what this celebration is about, just as much as the individuals we serve and the property and how beautiful it is. Also beautiful is just this 100-year project. So that's why I'm here, to ask you to please get involved with this, because what I don't want is for this to be a party that was kind of put on by a handful of people. So the last time I stood up here, I asked you to get involved and help as a captain to help us with one of the categories of things that we were working on. That has been satisfied with every category except for one. If anybody would like to be the transportation director in charge of parking, it's a very easy gig, and we need that person still. So now we've got our captains in place, and captains, if you're here, I'm going to read off who is in charge of what, because each of these captains are looking for people to help them out on the day of the event, or maybe the day before to set up, or that evening to clean up. So Jody and Ed DeVoid are in charge of, Ed is here if you want to stand up, because we want everybody to see who they can talk to if they want to help. They're in charge of the event execution, just pulling off everything that's going to be necessary with the band and everything else. Mike LaValle is in charge of logistics, of course. Fred Fischer is also, of course, in charge of the Stepping Stones liaison, helping us work with the staff. Owen Rassman is in charge of swag bags, the band, and cleanup. He just had his knee replaced. Don't make him do cleanup by himself. We need 5 people to help him with cleanup. Jody and Ed also need 2 people to help them with event execution. Mary and Bob Brandstetter. I think the Brandstetters are here somewhere. Yep, there we go. They're in charge of food and beverage. As Fred says, never underestimate the bar, is what we were told. So they need at least 2 people to help them with that. The event is being catered by Von der Haars. We will have a bartender hired professionally by them, so they can watch you if you get a little sloshy, but everything else we're going to need some help with transporting ice and whatnot. Mario Dominguez, if you remember, I called him out by name the last time I stood up here, and I said, you look like a fun guy, you can join us. He did, and he's in charge of activities. So he actually needs 6 people to help him. He's our new Rotarian. Let's show him that we actually help. He's got the hot air balloon lined up. That's the primary reason why we need 6 people, and as guests, we will be able to go up in the hot air balloon. That is going to be limited by how many people we can fit in the time frame. So when it comes time to sign up for tickets, I believe it's going to be sort of reserve your spot, first come, first serve type thing with the hot air balloon. So if you want to do that, keep that in mind. Allie Hubbard and her mom are in charge of the inner camp decor and messaging, so helping to convey that spirit that I just talked about, the importance of the vision and the dedication, and just 100 years of Rotary steam making this happen. So Allie and her mom are in charge of wow factor, is what we say. And then I'm doing the marketing and putting the team together. So please, if there's anything, some of these shifts are an hour and a half on the night of the event, driving a golf cart around, helping with little things here and there. So if you feel like you can attend the event, we are on a road to 30. We need 30 volunteers all told, between new member project, hopefully new member project, the captains that we have in place, and then the additional volunteers that we need. So my cell phone is in the directory, but it is 513-225-1011 if you need anything at all, or if you're willing to help. Other than that, just reach out to the office and say you can give a hand. Thank you.
Thanks, Angie. She's put a lot of work in on this. I want to go right to Karen Martin now. She's the Recreation and Leisure Director for all of Stepping Stones, which she spends a lot of time at Camp Allyn, and she's got some pretty interesting things for you.
Why, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for letting me talk a little bit about what we do at Camp Allyn, because through the generosity of Club 17, we know we would not have the programming at Camp Allyn if Rotary didn't have that property. So I'm here to just talk about what happens at Camp Allyn through Stepping Stones Recreation and Leisure Services. I've got a couple slides, a couple minutes, and so we're going to talk. So what do we do in Recreation and Leisure Services out at Camp Allyn? We provide recreation programs throughout the year, like Fred talked about. These programs happen year-round. This past Sunday just ended our fall, winter, spring program. We hosted 14 respite weekends between from September to the end of April out at Camp Allyn. Those happen twice a month. But in those programs that happen year-round, we build inclusion and build independence. And now we're preparing and getting ready for summer camp out there. So on June 5th, summer camp will be happening, and that is our overnight camp that happens at Camp Allyn. Day camp happens at the given location. And our programs are designed for those ages 5 to 65 in Recreation and Leisure Services at Stepping Stones. At Camp Allyn, we serve ages 16 and above. So our overnight programming is for teens, young adults, and adults. So that's who will be attending Camp Allyn when they come for the respite weekends or during summer camp. Let's see if I can use this thing right. Yep. Okay, so what is there at Camp Allyn? You've heard Fred talk about the land and how we use it. And so when we tell people about Stepping Stones Camp Allyn and someone's interested in coming to respite or overnight camp, we say there's 47 wooded acres. That's the acreage we use in programming. We have accessible bathrooms. We have accessible cabins. We have accessible hiking trails, swimming pools. The biggest highlight is swimming. And with the addition of the new bathhouse last year, that has been tremendous. That there's bathrooms at the pool, more shade, more socializing can occur on the side of the pool deck for those who don't want to swim. 3 lakes, Scott Pond, Rotary Pond, and the other pond. We use Scott Pond and Rotary Pond for fishing. The other pond up at Hilltop is used for boating. The archery range, and we've got a new archery range in the past couple years, so it's ready to go. Sarah, our program coordinator, just finished her archery training, so she can run that this summer. Our commercial kitchen. With that commercial kitchen, our kitchen staff's able to meet the dietary needs for all the different participants that come to camp. So they might have a regular diet, a chopped diet, a mechanical diet, a puree diet, but our kitchen can safely serve them the meals, and it's the same meal that everybody else is eating. Nothing's different unless there's some allergies and things like that. Indoor programming spaces, the windows Fred was talking about, like on the resource room or in the Fisk area in the back, those windows are beautiful and make the areas look so more bright and the light and they're shiny, and we'll keep them safe. We'll make sure no bottle rockets hit them this year. So that was a little accident one day with a Gatorade bottle and some Mentos. So indoor, we use those indoor programming spaces. Also the nursing station. The nursing station's so important. We have that there because we have nurses at camp from 7:30 in the morning to 9 p.m. at night when programs are happening, because we have to be there for the safety of the participants and meet all their medical needs. Our sheltered outdoor spaces like the pavilion, and then again the 3 lakes for fishing. Let me just go back real quick. There's a cabin up there, so that's with the bunk beds. And so we use 4 cabins. About 14 to 16 people can sleep in a cabin. There's I always call it the main entrance in where the pergolas are there and where the new bus stop will be by. And that bus stop will be wonderful for our adult day program that's out there Monday through Friday, and then for rec and leisure services and camp and on weekends. So that will be a nice covered area. That's Cedric, one of our lifeguards, and he's also a year-round staff at Stepping Stones, leading fishing at Scott Pond. And there's the dining hall that Fred was showing, like the new easement for coming in, and we just got new tables in the dining hall, so those are really nice too. So I just wanted to highlight, last summer we had 9 weeks of overnight summer camp. They run from Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. to Thursday at 4 p.m. That changed with our COVID modified plans. We used to run Sunday to Friday. We used to have a 10-day. We used to have a 12-day. Those all changed. We came into standardization, and that really helps for routine and consistency for those attending, but also for our staff that works. They work so hard. These young people, college-age students that work for us, they're there 24/7. They sleep in these cabins. So that gives them a nice break and when they return back on at 11 a.m. on Sunday. We use 3 to 4 cabin groups depending on the enrollment. Last summer, our enrollment was 28 was our average per week. We're already higher this year. Our lowest week right now is 37 and our highest is 50. Daily schedules designed with various engaging activities. We are very routine-based for our participants. They eat at the same time. They do similar activities. They have evening programming. We have rest period. It's just very important that we follow routines that gives them that consistency they need to know what to be expecting. And a fee for 5 days, 4-night stay for someone is $700. Just wanted to show you the age ranges of those who attend overnight program. So you see, I said we start at 16. We do have some people grandfathered in that are above 12 that were coming before we made that change. But there it goes from age ranges 12 to 65. And you can kind of see our age range from the 18 to 40-year-old is our largest. And that's the largest age range we serve. We serve more males than females. Weekend respites. What happens at a weekend respite? It's a time for the participants to connect with peers, enjoy a nice break from their routine in a 2-night stay. This allows the parents and caregivers time to rest, recharge, while their loved one builds friendships, enjoys new experiences, and becomes part of a community that helps them build their independence. And when talking about loved ones, they trust us with their child or young adult or another family member, or different caregivers trust us for them to come to this community and be part of it and have programming that serves them, safety and engagement while they get rest. So when their loved one comes home, they're recharged and ready to care for them. And so weekend respites, again, serve ages 16 to 65. They happen twice a month out at Camp Allyn. What happens at a weekend respite? Creative arts, nature, wellness, team building exercises, game nights, dances, talent shows, holiday celebrations. And when we're doing our programming, we're making sure it's adapted for all those who are attending. And we know everyone engages in their own unique style, so that is their style. And however they engage in the activity is how we welcome to that. We have our nurse, like I mentioned before, our commercial kitchen, and then our seasonal staff, our college-age students. And they are highly trained. There are mandated trainings we have to go through the state of Ohio, but then also trainings we feel are very important for them as being one of our staff members. So disability education, emergency procedures, behavior support and intervention, first aid and CPR, activity adaptation, and documentation. They do have to document, so learning those skill sets. So that's what I had to talk about. But what I do want to share also is with all these renovations and all the wonderful support that's happening, you hear the remarks from caregivers. When they're coming into Camp Allyn and dropping their loved one off, they're like, wow, this looks great. Or, you know, they just see it. They feel the improvements. They see the time and effort that's being put into the property and the facility and how much that value, I've always say, that's the unspoken part of our services, is the facility. How a facility looks and is the unspoken part of our services. And so through the support of Rotary Club, that helps, that is that unspoken part of our services that families feel and also meets the needs of the participants who are attending the program. So I open it up for questions. Does anyone have questions about what we do or want to know a little more? Owen, yes.
I saw the fees for the 2-day and the
Yes.
week-long stay, and I just wonder if there's any kind of supplement, or do parents go for grants, or how is some of that cheap for some people can't afford it?
Yeah. So how one pays for coming to Camp Allyn is quite a few of our participants have a Medicaid waiver. So we take a few different types of waivers from the state of Ohio, being a provider for the state. So quite a few people will use their Medicaid waiver. Quite a few people private pay. We do have some financial aid available at different times. And then like this year we received, it was called the Good Shepherd Grant, and that was a grant that was used for overnight camp from an organization in the state of Ohio, and we were able to serve, I think, 30-some people through that grant where they could either attend a week-long at overnight camp or a weekend respite, so through donors and grants and then their Medicaid waivers. So, and for some people, this is their vacation in the summer. Like, they're leaving their routine. They might have a job somewhere. They might do a vocation program, or they live in a group home. And this is where they're choosing to come for their vacation for the summer. Someone can attend up to 4 times in the summer, not back to back, but 4 times. And that gives them that opportunity. And then this summer, we're operating 8 weeks instead of 9, and we're closing down for the week of 4th of July to give our staff reprieve and also that opportunity to build the numbers up higher on those other 4 weeks. So, yeah. Any other questions? Yes, back there. It's about a 5 to 1. So counselors are 5 to 1 with the. We have five campers to 1 staff. Nursing is more like, because we have 1 nurse on a shift. So if there's anywhere between 30, Oh, total body count. Well, last year we served. Our summer camp team had 10 staff, full-time staff, and that was there, like what nursing and camp counselors, activity specialists, and lifeguards like that. Ideally it's good to have 16, but we were able, with our numbers, 10 was able to support it. So, yes. Yes, and. Yes, once someone gets enrolled into the program, they receive an enrollment packet that has all different directions in it, how check-in's going to occur, what their check-in time, what should they pack, what are they going to expect, what a typical schedule's like. Here's important phone numbers to call. And we have a high repetitive rate of people who attend. We have a high returning rate, but then we also get brand new people and they join our programs. So, well, thank you for letting me share. I know our time's come to an end, so thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Fred, Owen, and Angie as well. We appreciate this beautiful presentation where we're not rushed with a 5 to 10 minute little spiel. So because of your presentation today, we have some Rotary theme pins for you, and Angie, I'll get yours to you as well. And also, we will give a donation to Rotary International for the eradication of polio based on their presentation today, an update of Camp Allyn. So let's give them a round of applause again.
Good job. Yes.
Thank you. Again, we have 4 meetings this afternoon. The Classification Committee will be meeting in Rouleon street level. Cincy Due Days Committee will be meeting in Salon A on the 4th floor. World Affairs Committee will be meeting in the Mayflower Room on the lower level. And the Membership Development Committee meeting will be in the Boardroom 3 on the mezzanine level. And in the future, these announcements will be up on the screens to save time so we can have more time for the speakers and for the questions. So doing just a little bit of transition here. Next week, the program will be the Police Recognition Day, so we look forward to seeing you then. So let's leave, serve, and to change lives. And we look forward to seeing you at the camp cleanup on Saturday, and then back here on Thursday. And remember to RSVP, please, at the main office for the May 10th day at the Scripps Center for our meet and greet. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.